Hello everyone, I am Johnson. Today, let's learn how to create a grid menu navigation. A grid menu is a type of menu interface that displays options in a grid-like layout rather than a traditional vertical or horizontal list. It allows the user to browse and select from multiple categories or groupings of items at once. Features: Scannability. Grid menus make it easier for users to visually scan and compare multiple options simultaneously. Browsing categories. Options are organized into logical categories or groupings that are displayed adjacently in tiles or cards. Space efficiency. Grid menus make the most of available screen real estate by showing more options per screen compared to lists. Visual hierarchy. Well-designed grid menus use spacing, sizing, and visual cues to clearly indicate category and option relationships at a glance. Exploration. The grid format encourages browsing and discovery by allowing users to view unexpected but potentially relevant adjacent options. Aesthetics. When implemented well with consistent styling, grid menus can have a cleaner, more visually appealing interface compared to text-heavy lists. Next, let's create a grid menu navigation. This navigation is divided into several parts. The shape and size of the grid in each part are inconsistent. Some are larger and more prominent. You can choose which grid to use according to requirements. Clicking the grid will open a new page. First, drag in a rectangle to create the page title bar. Input category, change its style. Then drag in a rectangle to create the category bar. Input category 1. Change its fill color to black and text to white. Left align the text. Then drag in rectangles to create the grid. The first row needs 2 grids. The second row only needs 1. Input toys. Then adjust the text size and fill color. The fill color can be any color we choose, as long as it distinguishes them, and the detailed design will be done later. Input books in the second rectangle. Input clothes in the third rectangle. The first part is now created. Then duplicate category 1, change the text to category 2. Duplicate the rectangles, change the text to games and musics. Change their fill colors. Change the text to sports and images. Then we duplicate another category. Change the text to category 3. Duplicate a rectangle. Change its width to the screen width. Change the text to featured products. Here you can give it a more prominent fill color. Change the text to white and make the text size larger. Next, add a new page. Change the name to Toys. Drag in rectangles to fill the content. Finally, drag in a hotspot to the bottom. Change the text of the first rectangle to featured toys to distinguish it. Then duplicate a new page. Change the first rectangle to featured books. Change the page name to books. Duplicate a new page, change the name to clothes. Change the first rectangle to featured clothes. We use 3 pages as an example. The creation method of other pages is similar, with as many grids as pages. Go back to the home page. Next, we will create a container for the new pages. Drag in an inline frame. Set its size to the screen size. Select Toggle Border. Then make it a dynamic panel named Grid Menu. Enter the dynamic panel. Drag in a rectangle to create the title bar, Input Text Toys. Then switch to the icon library. Drag in a left arrow to create a back button. Drag in a hotspot on the feedback button. Double-click the inline frame to link to the Toys page. Select the hotspot and add a click interaction. Hide the Grid Menu dynamic panel and add a slide right animation. Change the dynamic panel name to Toys. Duplicate a new dynamic panel. Change the name to Books. Change the title bar text to Books. Duplicate a new dynamic panel. Change the name to Clothes. Change the title bar text to Clothes. Then pin the dynamic panel to the browser horizontally centered, vertically bottom position. Select the Toys grid. Add a click interaction. Show the Grid Menu dynamic panel, set a slide left animation. Set the dynamic panel state to Toys. Copy and paste the interaction to the Books grid. Set the dynamic panel state to Books. Copy and paste the interaction to Clothes. Set the dynamic panel state to Clothes. Change the title bar fill color to a prominent yellow. Then enter the state 2 of the dynamic panel, link the inline frame to Books. Enter the state 3 of the dynamic panel, link the inline frame to Clothes. Preview the prototype. When clicking any grid, it will slide left to open a new page, displaying the corresponding content, and the content can be scrolled up and down. Click the back button to slide right to back to the previous page. If you like my video, please give me a like and subscribe to my channel.